She fined my 9-year-old daughter for selling lemonade. $250 for a paper cup and a smile. But this wasn't just about lemonade. It was about control, community, and standing up to HOA tyranny. So we took her to court, and justice tasted sweet. It was the first Saturday of summer, the kind that made you nostalgic for sidewalk chalk and sticky fingers. My 9-year-old daughter, Lily, had been begging for weeks to set up her own lemonade stand. She wasn't trying to fund a startup, just earn enough to buy a glitter-covered sketchbook and maybe a pack of sour candies. So, I said yes. We set up on the corner of our front yard. A folding table, a hand-painted sign that read, "Lily's Lemonade, 50 cents, and a jug of fresh squeezed lemonade." Within an hour, neighbors were smiling, stopping by with change in hand. It felt like a Hallmark moment, until she arrived. Karen. Blonde bob. Wraparound sunglasses. Clipboard like a weapon. Head of our HOA and self-appointed queen of the cul-de-sac. She marched across the street like she was storming the beaches of Normandy. "Is this licensed?" she snapped, pointing at the lemonade stand like it was radioactive waste. "It's just a kid's lemonade stand," I said, trying to laugh it off. Karen didn't. "This is an unregistered business operating on HOA property. You'll receive a formal notice and fine." "You've got to be kidding." "I assure you I'm not." She whipped out her phone and began snapping photos. Lily's smile wilted, and I felt a surge of rage I hadn't felt since the last PDA meeting where Karen tried to ban cupcakes. Sure enough, the next day, I received a letter from the HOA $250 fine for operating an unauthorized commercial entity. It might as well have said, "Crime, wholesome childhood fun." I posted a photo of the fine on Facebook. Within hours, it had gone viral in our community. Comments poured in. "Are they serious? We used to encourage lemonade stands." Karen strikes again. But what really changed everything was the message I got from an attorney in the neighborhood. "I'd like to help you fight this." Karen's court day. The HOA didn't back down. Karen was determined to make an example out of us. "She can't be allowed to weaponize the HOA like this," the lawyer, Ms. Chen, said as we prepared for the hearing. "HOAs have rules, but they're not above basic reason." The case was set for a small claims hearing, technically informal, but Karen walked in like she was starring in * Law and Order, HOA unit. She brought a binder thick enough to crush dreams, full of screenshots, bylaws, and photos of Lily's lemonade stand, circled in red like it was a crime scene. "I'm here to defend the integrity of our community," she told the judge, adjusting her blazer with theatrical importance. "If we allow unlicensed operations, what's next? Pop-up food trucks? Flea markets?" The judge raised an eyebrow. "We're discussing a child selling lemonade for pocket change." Karen didn't flinch. "Rules are rules." Ms. Chen stood and calmly presented our case. She pointed out that Lily was 9. The stand was set up on our private lawn, not HOA common property. There was no commercial signage, noise complaints, or disruptions. And most importantly, no HOA rule prohibited non-recurring, non-commercial activities by minors. Then Ms. Chen dropped the hammer. "Your Honor, punishing a child for selling lemonade not only contradicts common sense, it opens the HOA up to civil rights liability for discrimination and emotional distress." Karen went pale. The courtroom murmured. Even the judge looked stunned. He leaned forward. "I see no reason why this citation was issued. The fine is nullified, and I strongly suggest the HOA reconsider how it applies its rules going forward." Karen stood there, blinking, as if her internal GPS had lost signal. The gavel dropped. Case dismissed. Sour lemons, sweet justice. After the hearing, word spread fast. Lily was back on the corner the next weekend, this time with more support than ever. Neighbors stopped by not just for lemonade, but to hand her little notes of encouragement, buy cookies she added to the menu, or donate extra coins, just for standing up to the HOA nonsense. One older man, Mr. Thompson, who hadn't come outside since before the pandemic, came by and said, "Your kid reminded me what a real neighborhood feels like." The HOA board held an emergency meeting 2 weeks later. Karen's authority was curbed. A new rule was proposed allowing temporary, non-commercial youth activities. It passed unanimously, except for one vote. Karen moved away that fall. No one threw a going-away party. As for Lily, she kept the lemonade stand going every weekend that summer. She made enough for not one, but 5 glitter sketchbooks. Sometimes, standing up for something small becomes something big. All it takes is one kid, one cup of lemonade, and the courage to not back down when the rules forget what they're really for. Some rules are made to protect. But when they're used to punish joy, community, or childhood itself, it's time to squeeze back. Lemon. If this story fired you up, made you smile, or reminded you of what real community should look like, don't leave without showing your support. Hit that like button to stand with every kid who just wants to be a kid. Subscribe if you believe in standing up to unfair rules, one cup of lemonade at a time. And comment below. Have you ever dealt with a petty HOA or stood your ground against ridiculous rules? I want to hear your story. Together, we can build a voice louder than any clipboard and stronger than any fine.